So we've got a question now from Kathy on email, and Kathy has said, should Tommy Robinson have been arrested? So this is now currently going viral online. This news broke just a couple of hours ago. So it was at the March Against Anti-Semitism. Tommy Robinson turned up and was arrested. There's lots of footage going around of him being arrested by the police. It doesn't look like he did anything at all provocative or violent. Now, this is... Well, you probably know a bit more about this, Jonathan, because you've been speaking to someone who was there when he was arrested.
Yes, I was speaking to Mark, you had on earlier?
Yeah, we had him on earlier.
He actually saw the event unfold. How I understand what happened was, I think the police and the event organisers of the march had already stated that they didn't want him there. I think they knew he was gonna turn up.
Yes.
And so they'd kind of made it clear that they didn't want him there. He then turned up as saying he's a journalist, because you get more access to places, and then the police were having none of it, and they just essentially put him in a van. And
so what I can hear from when the police arrest him, they use the phrase, they say that you have the potential to cause alarm and distress.
Yes, that was it. And
therefore we are arresting you. And they tweeted out, so the Met Police tweeted out today saying, here's the tweet, a dispersal order under Section 35 of the Antisocial Behaviour, Crime and Policing Act has been in effect since just after 10 a.m. It covers Westminster and part of neighbouring boroughs. And here's the kicker. Anyone told by an officer to disperse who fails to do so is liable to arrest. Now, that seems horrendously extreme. Authoritarian to me. So the idea that the police can just say, we want you to leave, we don't have to give a reason, and if you don't go, we'll arrest you. This is what we've been talking about on the show a lot, with the police crime and sentencing bill and things like this coming through, the current Tory government really pushing through regulations and laws, sneaking some in through before the coronation, basically to clamp down on our individual freedoms. This is really scary to me, because whatever you think about Tommy Robinson, if he's not breaking the law, if he's there at a public event. Now, I understand why the organisers wouldn't want him there, because it's very easy. Once Tommy Robinson and the EDL are present at an event, it's very easy for opponents of the event to smear the whole thing as being far right or whatever they want to call it. But I don't care what you think about Tommy Robinson. He's got a right to be there if he wants to. It's a free society.
Absolutely. I mean, I sympathise with the police in that it's obviously a very difficult day. It's a busy day. I shouldn't say difficult.
It didn't look high tension, actually, from the footage.
Having been there, it wasn't at all. But I mean, it's a day when they're going to be on alert, aren't they? They want things to go smoothly. But I completely agree. Once you can't say we want a right to protest unless, and then bracket off. Just it's got to be for everybody, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it does feed into this idea that the police are sort of being quite partisan in the way they're policing things. I mean, we've seen them at sort of pro-Palestine demonstrations doing nothing when people are throwing fireworks at them or calling for the death of Jewish people.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But if Tommy Robinson... I mean, I'm no admirer of Tommy Robinson, despite accidentally getting the same haircut the other day. But,
it wasn't deliberate, though, was it?
It wasn't deliberate.
You didn't go in and say,
I tried to get a Prince, but it didn't work. But, yeah, I mean, it does... If he was just turning up as a member of the public, wanting to, or as a journalist, if he's not breaking the law, you should be allowed there, right? I mean, you can't just be banned because it's bad optics.
I think it's a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
In The Independent, they were kind of implying he shouldn't be there because he's from the far right and he might upset the Jewish people. And I thought, let them be the judge of that.
Yeah.
That's a bizarre...
Well, also, the organisers of the march are perfectly within their right to say, we don't want him there. And even if he turns up to say, we don't want you here, to say that to him.
Yes.
But they can't force him to leave.
No.
And they certainly can't weaponise the police to get rid of him. Either way, it's just dodgy. Anyway, look. No doubt we'll be covering this again in future weeks because it is ramping up.